To play the game. And so that's taken a long time to try and get just to this point. And people have been responding really well and making beautiful artwork, which has been great.
As somebody who cannot draw or paint, I really appreciate that creativity.
Either, yeah.
No, being able to just jump into a game and make something beautiful and not have to critique it too harshly, you know, be like, oh man, my art, or do that art, it looks so stupid. I can't wait to get my hands on this. It looks beautiful.
Oh, thank
I
you.
was wondering that too about when the game was first introduced, and I was watching videos and I saw the artwork and I'm like, man, people are really, really good. And then I saw you have a system set up to how you do the artwork. How's that operate in the game?
Well, we make sure that every brush that you use has different levels of animation. We actually do quite a bit of pre-visual development with using actually 2D hand-drawn animation, so that it gives you the feeling that your brushes are come to life, that they come to life, basically.
And you basically author them by motioning the DualShock. So it's very intuitive and kind of accessible. And then all of the marks that you make as you're painting blossom and kind of flourish into this amazing living artwork. And you get to make these cool creatures as well.
Now, why are we doing this? I mean, you could just have any game that does art, right? Just paint all over the place. But what's happening? What's in the world? What's the point? Right?
Yeah. So we've invented this town, Denska, that's unfortunately befallen an environmental disaster. And it used to be this vibrant fishing town. And our main character actually grew up there. But unfortunately, everybody's moved away. And he discovers that his magical paint can actually rejuvenate the world and bring back the light and the life. And so he's trying to save the city, basically.
And another big aspect of this game is that he's Ash is being bullied. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, you know, right from the very, very beginning of the concepting phase, the very first ever idea, which came from somebody on the team, our VFX artist, Ashwin, he drew this painting that was really inspirational, and it was about a boy who was standing up to being bullied by drawing these amazing characters into the wall, and he imagined them protecting him. And we kind of dissected that idea as a team and thought we could have something important to say about it in gameplay. And so we started working on making your own artwork and making sure that you could author things and feel like they were yours.
I just felt that. A little high five to a made basket.
Well, and you know, making sure that you care about your creations and your creatures is really, really important, because as the story progresses, the bullies push Ash around more and more. But they actually then start ruining his artwork as well.
Oh, no.
Oh, so the artwork stays, but the bullies just can ruin it?
Yeah.
Why don't you just throw paint in their eyes? That's so mean, man.
Well, it's an interesting way to make a player understand what it would feel like, because it's not just Ash's artwork, it's your artwork as well.
That's true. So it's a personal effect on you. You're like proud of your artwork. You come back later on and it's ruined, and you're like, I'm gonna make more art then.
Yeah. Well, it's a good motivation to fix things. To kind of return things to how they used to be, yeah.
So these creatures that Ash is creating, do they have a special name, or you just call them creatures?
We call them genies, sorry, I should have said
Genies,
that. Yeah.
concrete
Concrete
genie, there it
genie.
is.
Yeah.
Hey, we get it.
Did the thing.
And every time he makes one, you have to go and touch the wall to bring it to life, which is another
that's
reason
beautiful.
why he does it, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So while he's doing these paintings and creating these genies, he's basically drawing himself some friends.
Exactly, they're the friends he wished he had in real life.
That's just so beautifully tragic.
That's what to say. Like, I smile and then I frown. Like,
yeah,
that's
super sad.
There's something melancholic about it, but the story takes you on a journey that will help resolve a lot of these things.
How many bullies are there?
There's 5 in there. Yeah, and they're the gameplay pressure as well. So obviously that has to live in the gameplay, and you have this mission to paint the town and rejuvenate it, and they're the ones trying to stop you. They don't want you to do that. You know, they love hanging out here because they can do whatever they want. You know, there's nobody else around, and so they're the gameplay pressure as well.
It sounds oddly familiar, like to Twitch almost, having like a creative outlet and doing creative streams, and you have boys come in there and try to take it away from you.
That's true. Yes.
It's depressing.
No, wait. Honestly, that is a perfect like allegory for Twitch. Is you
Yeah,
know a lot of
man.
people start because they don't have a lot of friends. They want to overcome social anxiety, or just reach out to people.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
Just trying to
Wow.
bring life back into the area you're in.
Man,
Yeah.
now it hits home even more. Jeez.
That is the allegory we have going right here. We saw him collect a piece of paper, like a little parchment
Yeah.
that had a drawing on it. Is that the progression you get as far as art?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the game, one of the story beats that we have is the bullies actually steal his sketchbook, and they rip all of the
Aw.
pages
They're the
out.
worst.
They are the worst.
Oh,
They
my
are the
goodness.
worst. And they rip all of the pages out and scatter them into the wind. And so chasing them down and getting them back is a really important part of the gameplay as well. And each time you do, you unlock one of these brushes that you can see, and that's how you kind of progress and get more of them. They're all different. They behave differently, and there's nuances to how you can kind of paint and put them down depending on how quickly you use the stroke or how tightly you're pressing the trigger and things like that. So.
Yeah, we have all different kinds of palettes, and the different environments are going to have very different moods as you progress through the story.
Good.
Yeah.
Maybe you could talk a little bit about how you selected the different types of paintings that people can use. I really think about that a lot. Games where you can kind of create things. Little Big Planet, you can
Yeah.
make things and like stick feathers on it and stuff. How do you
Yeah.
select the different branches and leaves and flowers? How do you pick those?
Do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, we have an amazing character artist named Lansing, and she does just a spectacular amount of different kinds of creatures. In fact, we have them all over the studio, and I think there's kind of a little bit of her personality in
Yeah.
each character. And then it's great to see people take some of those details, and then when they paint their own characters, we actually run different animation sets. So if you paint a character horizontally, they act more like an animal. They'll howl and scratch at the ground, and so it's really fun to see how they paint them and how they react with other creatures and react with the player.
And depending on those attachments that you paint onto them, it affects the personality of the creature that gets made as well.
Wow.
So how does progression work in that sense? When you first start off, are you locked into one area and you cleanse that one and slowly move out, or is the entire thing okay?
Yeah,
so, it's
so,
like that.
so it's like we call them like mini open neighborhoods. So
Okay.
you get, when you get released into a level, you have quite a lot of freedom to go around and explore. And
Sure.
Ash has like a kind of very agile platforming moveset, so he can take to the rooftops. And kind of escape the bullies like that as well. But you get quite a lot of freedom to explore and paint at your own pace. And that was something.
Okay, I was worried about that.
Yeah,
actually.
well, it's something that we've been tuning as we watch people play on team as well. They interact with your paintings like that as well. So they'll eat the apples or hide behind a tree and things like that. We wanted to make sure that you could play the game at your own pace. And so there's lots of places to discover on the rooftops where you're not going to get hassled by the bullies. And so you can paint away, but quite often when you want to get new pages or new things to play with, you have to risk going into contact with them and they'll chase you and push you around.
And when he encounters these bullies, is the main thing to do to run away, to escape?
Yeah, he can kind of brush them off, and he's much faster than them as well, and he can take to the rooftops. They don't actually chase him up there as well. But yeah, you have some light stealth mechanics in there. You're trying to avoid them, and you can manipulate them by shouting at them and kind of pull them from one end of the map to the other. Yeah, so you've got options in how you deal with them, and Ash has kind of risen above the kind of physical need to hit them. That's
So-
not what he's about.
For all of us out there who want to experience this artistic endeavor, when can we get it? How can we get it? Where is it?
We are working.